this afternoon. Governor Fubara shows Rivers residents of focus amid political tension. Senate passes Electoral Act Amendment Bill, retains electronic transfer of result. President Tinubu deploys troops to Kwara after deadly terrorist attack. Health facilities in Port Harcourt without snakebite anti-venom. On the foreign scene, US-Iran agreed to Friday talks in Oman. I'm Ifechukwu Muonyili with the news. Let's begin the news this Thursday afternoon with developments from Rivers State, where Governor Siminalayi Fubara has assured residents that he remains focused on governance despite the ongoing political situation in the state. The governor gave the assurance while inspecting the rehabilitation of internal roads in the old Port Harcourt township, as well as the proposed site for the construction of a modern market at Creek Road Market on Wednesday. He said his administration is determined to restore public confidence in government through visible and impactful projects.
I promise our people, no matter the situation that we are in, we will not lose focus in governance, because our people have given us this trust. The little we owe them is to give them confidence in leadership and ensuring that governance continued strongly.
The governor explained that the road rehabilitation and construction of the new Creek Road Market are aimed at restoring the glory of the old Port Harcourt township by eliminating street trading and improving traffic flow.
To check the ongoing projects that has to do with the road, and after that I'm here to see for myself what is going on in the market. From what you can see, the contractor has already mobilized the site, and I believe that in the next 1 week the project will commence. You can see the difficulty in driving through the Creek Road because we don't have good settlement. So if we treat these markets, those people trading along the street will be inside the markets, and when they're inside the markets, the road can also be fixed properly, and the beauty of the town will start reflecting.
However, beyond the governor's reassurance, reactions to the political crisis continued to trail. Recent comments credited to President Bola Tinubu, the Deputy National Chairman of the African Democratic Congress, Senator Andrew Uchendu, says it is unexpected and absurd for President Bola Tinubu to confuse Nigerians over who holds political leadership in a state and within a political party. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent, Senator Uchendu, a former representative of Rivers East Senatorial District in the National Assembly, says it is unthinkable for any Nigerian to be made a party leader of two political parties at the same time. Now, he advised the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to embrace the equated traditional approach to conflict resolution by reaching out to Governor Siminalayi Fubara to resolve their differences in the interest of Rivers people.
I will advise my brother, the Honorable Minister of FCT, to reject this type of crown. Let him call his son the Governor of Rivers State. Let both of them have some discussions in his bedroom or in his parlor alone. This is what the Quere tradition demands. When issues like this come to a head, the most senior person will invite the other to meet him at 5 a.m. early in the morning for closed-door discussions. Rivers people have had enough of ridicule from the disagreement arising between two of them, and I think it is time they speak to each other and make peace.
On Tuesday, reports suggested that President Bola Tinubu again stepped in to calm tensions between Governor Fubara and Wike. One of the reports by this day said President told Governor Fubara that the FCT minister remains the main political leader in River State, whether in the APC or PDP, and that he must be respected, while the minister was directed to stop any impeachment plot against Governor Fubara and allow smooth governance in the state. Still on reactions to the president's intervention in Rivers politics, a former member of the House of Representatives, Obonaya Nwuke, has criticized President Bola Tinubu's decision to allow a minister to take control of political affairs in Rivers State, describing it as unfair to the sitting governor. Speaking with correspondent Ifechukwu, Nwuke said the move was like giving the governor a throne without real power.
While some say it is a recognition of Nwuke's political stand, others say it's imposition of Nwuke on Rivers people by Abuja. So you have a situation where someone is the politician and where the other one is administrator. What was never considered was the position, the pain that the Rivers people are going through Then any decision like this is taken, then you give him a throne without control, then something is not perfectly right here.
Wike added that the president's position did not reflect the feelings and expectations of the people of Rivers State. While admitting that the decision is painful, Wike urged residents and political stakeholders to remain patient and calm. The former lawmaker also shared his views on how Governor Siminalayi Fubara should strategically approach his second-term ambition.
Incidentally, this governor hasn't said to anyone that he's going for a second term. Now, I've not heard him say it anywhere, which means maybe he's taking one step at a time. But you should look at against the backdrop of Wike's remark that if Fubara is allowed to do second term, that is very politically. So, which means that no matter what peace process works now, working with that emotion that's been expressed, he will fight any attempt by Governor Fubara to even raise his head under the political platforms that he controls.
Well, away from the Rivers political tussle to national electoral reforms, the Senate has passed the Electoral Act 2022 Repeal and Reenactment Amendment Bill 2026 through the third reading. But the Senate did not agree to a plan that would force INEC officials to send election result online immediately from each polling unit. The rejected plan wanted INEC officers to upload result to the internet as soon as voting ends and after the result form is signed. Instead, the Senate kept the old rule. This old rule allows INEC to choose how to send result, either online or in any other way it approves. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio said the Senate did not reject sending result online. He said the law already allows electronic transmission of result. He also said the Senate did not delay or try to block the new Electoral Act. Well, as the nation awaits the final outcome of electoral reforms, INEC says it is fully prepared for the 2027 general election, despite delays in the passage of the Amendment Electoral Act at the National Assembly. INEC says it has completed the election timetable and schedule of activities and is only waiting for legislative action on the proposed amendment. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Joash Amobito, stated this on Wednesday in Abuja during a meeting with civil society organizations. Well, let's shift focus to Eche local government area where, as part of the ongoing youth empowerment and capacity building initiative, the operator in charge of the grader deployed to Eche constituency 2, Mr. Daniel Waka, recently supervised a practical test run for trainees who had completed intensive operational training. The exercise provided the youth with hands-on experience while assessing the skill they had acquired during the program. Under Waka's guidance, trainees demonstrated competence in grader operation, adherence to safety protocol, and basic equipment handling, highlighting the effectiveness of the training. The practical test run is a key component of broader effort to equip Eche youth with technical and vocational skills that enhance employability, promote self-reliance, and reduce youth unemployment within the local government area. Community stakeholders have praised the initiative, noting that it empowers youth economically and creates a skilled workforce capable of contributing to infrastructural development in Eche and beyond. But let's take a quick break now. When we return, President Tinubu deploys troops to Kwara after deadly terrorist attack. To stay with us. battalion to Kayama local government area of Kwara State following the deadly attack by suspected terrorists on the Nuku and Woro communities on Tuesday. In a statement issued on Wednesday night, presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanaga quoted President Tinubu as saying the new military command will spearhead Operation Savannah Shield to checkmate the terrorists and protect defenseless communities. President Tinubu urged collaboration between federal and state agencies to provide succor to affected residents and ensure those who committed the atrocities do not go scot-free. The Kwara State government said 75 residents were killed by the suspected terrorists during the attack. While the convicted leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has filed a notice of appeal at the Court of Appeal, challenging his conviction and multiple sentences imposed by the Federal High Court in Abuja. Kanu is insisting that his trial was riddled with fundamental legal errors and amounted to a miscarriage of justice. In the notice of appeal dated February 4th, Kanu said he was appealing against his conviction and sentences on 7 counts, including terrorism-related offenses, for which he received 5 life sentences and additional prison terms after being found guilty on November 20, 2025. In his grounds of appeal, the IPOB leader accused the trial court of failing to resolve what he described as a foundational disruption of the original trial process following the 2017 military operation at his Afarauku residence. Well, back here in River State, operatives of the Ozuoba Police Division have arrested Frimpong Samuel for allegedly removing the roof of his tenant, Ifechukwu Anozie, along NTA Road, Port Harcourt. Samuel reportedly took the action after Ifechukwu failed to vacate the property 2 weeks after his rent expired. While speaking on the incident, the spokesperson of the River State Police Command, CSP Grace Iringe Koko, said the landlord will be arraigned in court upon completion of investigation. Meanwhile, the tenant, Anozie, said his landlord served him a notice in December asking him not to renew his rent. According to him, his landlord said he plans to renovate the apartment. Anozie explained that his rent was due to expire in January 2026. He explained that he appealed to the landlord for a 14-day grace period to enable him move into a new apartment he had already paid for. Anozie expressed shock that before the expiration of the 14 days, his landlord came to the apartment with a carpenter and removed the roof. He claims the action exposed his property to the rain, destroying several items, including his academic certificate. He is now calling for justice over the incident.
On the 1st of February 2026, I showed him transaction payments that I made for a new apartment and pleaded for 14 days, which will elapse on the 14th of February to move out of the house. But to my greatest surprise, at about 8:02 a.m., my wife called to inform me that the landlord has de-roofed my apartment. A few hours later, it started raining heavily with all my properties, documents, and certificates all exposed in the rain. My pregnant wife and my 2 kids of 2 years and 3 years were exposed too. All my properties worth 25 million naira got damaged.
Well, away from that to health matters now. A visit to some primary health centers and private hospitals within Obiabo and Port Harcourt City local government area shows they do not have snakebite antivenom. Now, this comes amid concerns following the death of an Abuja-based singer, Ifechukwu, popularly known as Naya, who reportedly died after suffering a snake bite at her residence on Saturday. Now, our correspondent Rejoice Amadi spoke to some healthcare workers at these facilities who blamed the lack of antivenom on poor power supply, storage challenges, and the low incidence of snakebite. A medical doctor at one of these centers who spoke anonymously stressed that antivenom remains a life-saving medication and its essence should not be excused with low incidence of snakebite. The doctor explained that the medical personnel across various facilities have repeatedly appealed to the government to put better systems in place to ensure that essential but rarely used drugs are available when needed.
Most hospital pharmacies don't deem it fit to stop the antivenom. The snake bite case is not so popular, and so they don't feel it's important to. It's like an extract, so you can't keep it. You have to store in a refrigerated place. Those are one of the things that we are, among other things too, that we are clamoring for. We need to still stock the shelves. It's something that is necessary to. They should at least have a control mechanism where even